Hey everybody, welcome to Sled Talk, where we love talking everything snowmobiles. From pulling your hair out to pulling the cord, there's nothing that we won't touch. I'm Rob Reed.
I'm Steve Glass.
And we are here to talk about our last show of the season, Steve.
And you finally got the intro memorized properly.
Finally.
It's not written down anymore.
It took me a long time, but actually, if you've noticed, I haven't used that most of the season.
I know.
But I did finally take the time to memorize it. I decided, when I'm in the can, to read that and memorize it instead of the newspaper.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, anyways, as always, let me start fresh with that.
Sorry, go ahead.
We are doing our last show of the season, season 2. Went, I think, really well.
Sure.
We've had some great feedback from people on all the different platforms, and we sure, as I've said many times, love hearing from you. Different opinions, different thoughts, and you know what? Keep sending those. It's just great to be engaged with everybody that watches the show. So thank you for that. But on a national, actually, I'll call this international level. Did you know that snowmobiles or snowmobilers are doing Meals on Wheels?
I did not know that.
Yeah, they're doing it on Mackinac Island in Michigan.
Right.
Now, guess who lives on Mackinac Island? Or has property, I guess I should say.
I don't know.
Ron Howard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Richie Cunningham.
Okay.
And Bob Seeger.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so they both have
And
properties on Mackinac Island.
They need Meals on Wheels?
Apparently so. and they have an actual chef.
Right.
That goes out and does this twice a week, preparing very good meals. And it's all done with volunteers and volunteer help and all that. And people are running around delivering these to community members that can't necessarily get out and need a little extra support. Provides them some visitors and some social interaction, which is always great for people that are somewhat isolated.
Yeah.
And it just sounds like it's a fantastic program that's working really well for those people. And on top of that, on Mackinac Island, you can run your snowmobile through the drive-thru.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which will lead to another topic later in the show.
I don't think you can here, can you?
I will. Okay. But not right now. I'll get to it later. On a more local level, Steve, Minnedosa's doing a show and shine.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I think by the time this show comes out, they'll have already done it.
Their third annual.
Yeah, third annual. So
Indoor.
We were talking about going to that.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that all comes together, because we've got an event with one of our buddies, his daughter's wedding social.
The night before.
Yeah. So we may have to find a driver, just so we can sleep in the back seat. But we'll be good. But yeah, it'd be interesting to head out to that Minnedosa show and shine, get a few pictures, meet a few people, that sort of thing.
It looks really good. I sent you that video the other day, right?
Yeah, it was really cool.
All indoors, so it doesn't matter about the weather.
Yep. Yeah. One of the things you wanted to talk about was marketplace scams.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I haven't had this, I don't know, I guess I don't spend enough time on the internet. Like, what's going on?
I've been trying to buy a snowmobile trailer all winter, and I think everyone I've tried to contact, well, not everyone, but 80% of them have been scams.
Really?
Yeah, but
why would that be a hot topic for scammers?
I don't know.
Snowmobile trailer.
I don't know, but I don't even know how, they don't even ever get back to me asking for a deposit or nothing. I had somebody say they figured they'd check out my profile when I asked them a question, and they see that they're not going to be able to scam me, so they dump it. I finally got one guy to go back and forth with me a few times, then he just shut me off.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to ask questions like, what's your lowest price? I'm just saying, where is it and when can I come see it?
Right.
And snowmobile trailers, all trailers, all winter, I was either getting, basically I just wasn't getting any replies at all. And then I'd ask about that. And then there was another guy selling this twin track snowmobile, and the price was ridiculous. It was like $500 for this restored twin track snowmobile.
Oh, you sent me that one. Yeah.
And then I actually was talking to the guy that owned it in Quebec.
Yep.
And it's just a scam. But I'm assuming.
How is it a scam though? How are they getting back? If they're not getting back to you.
Well, I had a guy on my page say that he actually got scammed into sending a $500 deposit on a car trailer.
Ooh.
And lost when he went. Then the phone numbers all shut down, and the address was fake.
Right.
And that was after talking to this person for a half an hour on the phone, and he really thought it was a legit deal.
Okay, so there is a website or phone number or something that you can report scams?
Yeah.
Have you been doing
No.
that? Okay, well, guess what?
I just report them on Marketplace, like, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm assuming most of them are just going to ask for a deposit, but no one ever gets back to me on those things at all. So I'm assuming they see my profile and it's a business profile and they figure they're not going to scam it.
Okay, so you are still looking for a trailer.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? Because I mean, hey, there's going to be someone out there that's maybe selling one that'll get in touch with you, help you out with this. Guys, gals, Steve wants a trailer. Needs one.
16-foot V-nose trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twin axle?
Twin axle, yeah, and it's got to be tall enough for my Razor.
Right.
So it's got to be, I think, at least a 6-foot opening in the back.
So you got to be able to squeeze the side-by-side into it as well.
Yeah, I've seen a few smaller ones. Like I've
Right.
seen a few that are lower, which would be awesome for the sleds, but it's got to be big enough for my Razor too.
Okay, sounds good. If you've got one or you know one's selling one, anyone's selling one, get in touch with Steve. He's in the market.
For the right price. And those are the ones that I'm getting. Those are the ones that are all scams.
I'm certain to understand why people aren't getting back to you. You're a cheapo.
I don't ask about the price when I just ask where is it and when can I come see it.
All right, okay. Steve, regular or premium gas for your snowmobile?
Oh, premium.
Premium?
Yeah.
Why?
Higher octane, better for the motors, and less ethanol here in Canada.
Okay.
And only like for sure my 2-strokes. I'm not as concerned with my 4-strokes.
Right.
And I don't worry about it in the summertime at all.
Yeah.
Like for my side-by-side and stuff. I'll run premium when I can. But
Yes.
we've been on rides where all we can get is regular. And I'll just get regular.
Yeah, I've done that too, and I never even bother plugging in that little plug that switches you to regular from premium. I just run it when I absolutely have to.
Yeah, it's funny, you know what, you get to talk about this gas for 1 second. How many times you hear a group of us bought gas at some gas station and we all cooked our motors or something like that, right? And I remember one particular ride we were out of my cabin and some people were complaining about gassing up in the town there and having issues. And yet we gassed up in that town the entire weekend too. And in 40 years of snowmobiling, have you ever had a gas issue?
No.
No, me neither.
I've had a water issue, not related to the gas, but...
So have I for a machine sitting or something.
Yeah.
But I've never had an issue gassing up with regular or premium or anything. So
No.
And the new machines, all these new injected machines should be able to handle anything.
Well, they choke it through a little better than the carburetors.
I can remember the old feller there at LAD. Remember Lauren?
Yeah, I remember
And him telling me the fuel injected machines can deal with all kinds of crap gas because they'll just retard their timing and do whatever they have to do. But
Just to kind of choke it through.
Yeah.
Well, and I agree, 2-strokes, I'm a premium guy. In my boat, which is a 4-stroke, I just put regular in there because who cares, right? It's a 4.3 V6.
Yeah.
It, like I say,
it's like a car.
yeah, it's a car engine.
Yeah.
It doesn't care. So that's kind of always been my go-to. I'm with you. If I have to put regular in, I will.
Yeah.
These days, gas prices being what they are, I got to tell you, putting a little premium in at the moment makes you shudder a bit. You go, that's the price of a good time, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this came up, actually, one of our buddies brought this up and said, you guys got to talk about this on the next show. This was after our last ride a couple days ago.
Yeah.
The amount of litter,
Yeah, we were dodging litter.
like steady, it was...
It's because we weren't on the groom trail. We were just riding the ditch because of the lack of snow.
Well, and this is where I kind of want to go with this. First off, this isn't a snowmobiler issue. This is people...
Beer cans and garbage bags.
Yeah, I've never seen a guy riding down the trail with a handful of Tims. Have you? I've never seen that.
No, there was a mess. Those ditches were a mess.
Yeah, and
that was literally only a couple of miles of ditch riding.
Yeah.
And it was literally can after can after can and coffee cups and complete garbage bags wiped all over the ditches.
And I mean, really, you're not going to pull into another gas station that has a garbage can so you can throw it out when you get there?
Yeah.
Like, why are people so entitled?
Yeah, I know. I don't
This
get
just
it.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like you say, you never see garbage along the trail.
No.
Although, you will see, and you and I have walked into some pretty disgusting shacks where people have just left a disaster behind. Hey, who the hell's cleaning this up for you guys?
Yeah.
You packed it in, packed it out.
You know what I'll admit though? I typically use the garbage can in the shack and just throw my garbage in there. But those garbage, you don't even think those garbage cans are all filling up, and someone's got to haul that garbage out, right?
Yeah.
And then when they overfill, people just start putting crap everywhere. And I just started thinking about this a few weeks ago, where somebody was talking about having to haul the garbage out of the shack, and I started thinking maybe I'll quit using the garbage cans in the shack and just bring everything back.
Yes. Yeah, like you say, pack it in,
I mean,
pack it
naturally,
out.
you just use the garbage can. You think you're doing a good job because you're putting everything in the
Some
garbage
of them
can.
collect the beer cans and
Well,
take the
yeah,
money.
no, the cans and stuff, sure. But haul the stuff back too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if you hauled it there, you should be able to haul it back.
Well, no one's going to use your frozen pack of ketchup. No one's going to use your half bottle of mustard.
Yeah.
Or that half a bag of chips. No one's eating that stuff. I'm going to tell you, there isn't going to be a situation made for TV movie where some guy has staggered out of the bush, discovered a warm-up shack, lit himself a fire, and survived 3 days on ketchup packs until Snowmobilers showed up on Friday to rescue him. Like, it's not happening. Clean your shit up.
I think we found mustard in every shack we were in.
Yeah, everyone's got mustard. We laughed at that because same thing, we were looking at one the other day and you go, mustard, again. Like, no one's eating it. It's frozen rock solid. Like, take it home with you.
Yeah.
Honest to God. Just disgusting. You know, and these poor club people, I'm sure they show up. They've made a nice warm-up shack, trails, cut wood.
Yeah.
And they walk in there and they look around and go, oh, why do we bother?
Yeah, and if you're just riding on your sled, you're not set up to haul a garbage bag, like a big, huge garbage bag of garbage out of there and
No,
stuff
but
like that.
you know, when they're
That's
doing
gotta
their
be-
work
Yeah, that's
parties.
going to be a club trip to go in there with a polar bottle.
Yeah,
or something.
someone's got to do the work.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm going to just haul stuff back more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not rely on their garbage cans anymore.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of my rant today about litter. I mean, really, people, don't be so self-entitled that you can't clean up after yourself because someone else is going to do it. Like, get over yourself, take care of your garbage, clean up.
All the litter we saw was just coming out of cars on the highway.
Yeah, well, that was definitely that.
And that's awful.
For sure, for sure. So I got a interesting, what was she thinking?
Oh.
So there's a lady down in New York who I guess was working for the Chamber of Commerce, and I was very involved in the Chamber of Commerce here in Winnipeg for a number of years and even sat on their board of directors for a while. And so I've got a fairly good understanding of how chambers work. But this woman, on her first shot, embezzled $160,000 from their local chamber.
Wow.
To basically pay off her mortgage or whatever financial situation she'd got in. But I guess it worked so well that she did it again. Second time, she stole $315,000. And in the process, she ended up buying herself, let's see, a new vehicle, a tractor, and a wagon for her yard, I guess property, I don't know if she lives on a farm. She bought some snowmobiles, multiple snowmobiles. Now, I'd almost give her a pass on that one. Almost. An ATV and a UTV. So this woman is now facing 3 felony charges in the U.S. for theft over whatever and all that sort of stuff. But what was she thinking?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to steal over 300 grand from an organization? You don't think they're going to miss it.
People do it.
Well, but they get caught.
Absolutely. Those companies audit themselves.
Yeah, so she, what did they say here? All purchased items were determined to be for her personal use and personal gain. She was arrested at her home.
So some snowmobiles up for auction again soon.
In New York. Yeah. I still think we need to watch out for that guy in Wisconsin because those sleds will come up pretty soon.
Yeah.
And we'll have to be able to travel down to the U.S. to partake in that kind of an adventure. When you get your snowmobile trailer so we can haul a bunch of them home with us.
Sure.
All right.
And a passport.
Yes, absolutely. Well, not like I haven't told you.
I know.
You know, multiple times. In fact, right after the show. What do you got for a tech tip, Steve?
Belts.
Belts.
Today. Yep, belts.
Okay, so this is something that you and I, and probably all of our buddies, have debated on and off over the years. From little kids, we'd go to Canadian Tire and buy the whatever.
Yep.
Daco, yeah, so you got a Daco here. To whatever you could get at Canadian Tire, just something to keep your sled moving.
Yep.
To, you know, as we were starting to buy more performance machines, the arguments of what was the best belt and what was this and what was that.
Yeah.
So
OEM or aftermarket.
and I gotta say, I've been an OEM guy.
Sure. Nothing wrong with that, except some of that OEM stuff's getting pretty pricey.
It is.
So is the aftermarket stuff. I just ordered a belt for a sled that is $270 aftermarket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right, they're pricey. And I mean, what isn't pricey these
That's
days? It's unfortunate that the entire world is going that way. And I gotta say, I believe that there's a little bit of profit taking going on. Sorry for, get all you conspiracy theorists going, but I do think that there's a little bit of profit taking because situations happen that do cause and drive pricing up. But when those correct themselves, I never see the pricing correct itself.
True enough. So getting back to belts, but now that
sorry, now that I've gone on that little rant. Sorry, buddy.
Have you ever broken a belt when you're riding?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I never have.
I blew one time when we were on a spring ride.
Okay.
Out, of course, going across water.
Right.
So I guess, the belt is taking a little bit of abuse because you're
Yeah.
going from snow to water, back onto ice, onto snow, into water. And my belt, of course, going across water, blew up. Okay. Now, I made it, but momentum got me there.
So it really broke.
It blew to a million pieces. I've had that happen a few times. I can't believe you've never
I've never
one.
totally broken one. I've had them coming apart where I felt them and stopped and changed them, but I've never broken one. But I've been with guys, and when they've broken, they've done a lot of damage sometimes. Like my cousin took out his entire speedometer drive and that bearing holder and stuff on his legs. It was all plastic. And I've seen some side covers, some panels and stuff ripped to shreds and stuff. So I mean, they can do a ton of damage.
I've seen stuff come through the top.
So they're a good thing to have a look at and inspect them once in a while. I'm very guilty of riding a snowmobile with the same belt for a million years.
Well, every preseason, I do a check on mine and my daughter's.
But have a look for cracks, especially between the ribs.
The little ribs there, yeah.
And the other
What are those ribs for?
I think for cooling.
Yeah,
I think
it
so.
just gathers a little extra air?
Yeah, I think it just blows more air around.
Are you sure it's not just so that you have more shit to clean up out of the bottom of your belly pan after your, like anyone that's blowing up a belt and the amount of time it takes to clean that shit?
You'll lose the top layer of the belt.
Yeah, or the bottom. The bottom just flies to pieces.
But the other thing is, like I had a guy bring in a sled last week where he thought there was something wrong with the chain case because it was very jerky driving. And when I was looking at it, he had one section of his belt that was skinny, probably from being stuck and just smoking his drive clutch on it for a while.
See, my daughter did that last year in a very warm condition. The sled got a little hung up, and so we made it another quarter mile, and she stops, and I said, "What's going on?" She said, "Oh, my sled's not running right." Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Yeah.
I looked, and that's exactly. It looked like
yeah.
What do they call that? French curves.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's when you're looking at your sled, check your belt deflection, make sure your belt's sitting in your secondary properly. And on this machine, I was doing the belt deflection, and I was just spinning the belt, doing a revolution with the clutch to see how it was riding in the clutch, and it would hit a spot where the belt would just disappear down into the secondary, so it's worn out there.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, your clutches are going to be chattering away like crazy when you're riding. At speed, you might not notice it so much, but I mean, you could run around with it with the caliper, but if you just spin your clutch, you're going to see if it's going up and down in your secondary. So that's a good way to check for that.
So preseason, when you're cleaning your clutches, this is a good time. But like I say, if you've got a caliper, I mean, just ripping it around there for 30 seconds is a real true way of telling it. And I mean, you're not wrong that watching for dips and things, and sometimes, honestly, it is visible. And if it's gotten that far, change it because you will be walking. Yeah. Or your friends will be bugging you.
And then you throw that belt in your trunk as a spare.
Usually by the time
any belt to spare. Any belt's better than a broken belt.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've always got a spare belt, so if it's that bad, it goes in the garbage.
Okay. Well, this guy over here doesn't have a spare belt in his sled either. So.
Okay. Well, if you've got nothing, I agree with you.
So you're an OEM guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to be, and I've had a Skidoo dealer tell me that the aftermarket clutches or belts were actually too hard a rubber, and they'd wear out your faces of your clutches. Could be. But all I've ever run is Ultimax in my machines. And so I sell Deco and Ultimax. Ultimax I like.
You see, and I've heard that story about, the harder rubber burning out your clutches. And I got to tell you, to me, that's just a urban myth.
I think.
For lack of a better term. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But I do believe that different manufacturers do have different compounds and different You know, the grip, like tires.
And there is going to be, there can be a slight difference in size too, right?
Mm-hmm. The angles.
Because there'll be different part numbers. Like when I was looking up the Polaris for this machine, there were several Polaris part numbers that matched the same Ultimax belt. So there could be slight differences. Like I think you've changed belts where you've had to adjust your secondary because it's squealing and stuff, right?
Yep.
So, you know, if you put and that's something when you put a new belt on, if you're doing it in your shop, you have to check, make sure it's riding in your secondary properly.
Oh, always.
Out in the field, you're not going to have a chance to do that.
No, but I mean, like you say, you're moving again.
Yeah. But
Out in the
have a
field.
good look at your belt. You definitely don't want to break a belt and cause all that damage. And you don't want to bring it in for service if it's just a worn out belt.
Right.
And yeah, that's my talk for today about that.
That's your tech tip.
Yep.
All right. Any summer plans, Steve?
Try to restore a couple of snowmobiles.
But you talked about a couple.
Keep working.
Actually, on your Facebook page, you put up a post of which of these sleds should I repair?
Yeah.
Or restore for the summer?
First, yeah.
Yeah. And so what did you come back with?
My 88 or 79 SRX.
Yeah, that's number one?
Yeah, that got like 4 times the votes.
Yeah.
And it was something I really, really want to ride that machine. So,
Ahead of your drifter.
well, yeah, I want to ride it. Like it's going to be fun. So, and it's in decent condition. So,
We keep both looking over
I know.
at it over our shoulders.
I had a guy in who restores snowmobiles the other day, and I was asking him about doing the aluminum
Camera's in
work.
front of you.
I know, do the aluminum work. I just like looking at it. It's
Look at it after the show, you know. Jeez.
I want to get that one done first.
Yeah.
And then I got a lot. Actually, my drifter got the second most number of votes.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my skidoos were at the bottom.
Shocking.
My Blizzard 7500 and my Motoski Sonic got the least number of votes.
Yeah, I can
The
see
people
that.
who wanted me to do it were very passionate about it, but
You know what? Being a bit of a horsepower guy,
I know,
I
well,
probably would have went with the SRX as well. I
that's
didn't
the
even
thing.
bother voting. I figured I didn't want to skew
yeah,
it
no,
on you.
it's more just I want to really ride that machine. Like, it's going to be fun to try.
But you know what? For a vintage ride, pulling up in that drifter,
I know.
would probably have as much conversation as your other,
Oh, yeah.
your VMAX here or anything else
Oh,
that
yeah.
you've got.
No, I would.
I mean, that's a super cool sled.
1 year only, not many people have seen them even, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a very fun spring ride snowmobile.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what you're going to be doing.
Except it's a free air, but
Yeah.
yeah, I want to definitely, and I wouldn't mind working on, like, I normally close my shop down in April for the summer, more or less.
Right.
And only let the odd little quad sneak through here. But I wouldn't mind doing snowmobile motors this summer. If anybody has a motor they want rebuilt,
Don't wait for the fall.
yeah, don't wait for the fall. But I can rebuild it slowly on my own time. And I really just want them brought in motors only. I got a guy bringing me a motor. I don't want to take. I don't want to bother with trying to take them out of the snowmobiles over the summer.
Right.
Bring me a motor, I'll rebuild it.
Yep.
You got all summer to put it back in your snowmobile. It's not going to be super fast because got lots to do in the summer, but I'd like to do that all summer. I'd like to just
Well, I'm
keep
kind
working
of-
on snowmobiles all summer a bit.
I'm kind of fighting the same thing because on our last ride, both of us broke a shock.
Yeah.
And on mine, and I was just looking at it yesterday, you and I talked about this before the show started, about do I want to do it now or do I want to do it in the fall? And we're in that kind of that dead between seasons moment.
Yeah, it's easy to put your sled away till next year.
Yeah, but at the same time, you got time to do it because I'm not cutting grass, I'm not doing any of the yard work. I've got the time to do it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I should just knock it off now,
Should.
and then in the fall, it's a quick preseason, and away you go, as opposed to.
Should.
Because if we got early snow and
Yeah.
now I'm screwing around with it.
Right.
See, I'm talking myself into this
And
now.
you could have a hard time finding that shock too.
Well, yesterday I was talked right out of it by myself, and now I'm talking myself right back into it.
Doesn't your snowmobile sit? Oh no, you put it in your trailer also.
Put it in the trailer all summer, yeah, so it's out of the way.
You got lots of room in your garage.
Yeah, I know.
Let it sit there in your way until you get the shock fixed.
Yeah, and you're gonna get yours back together as well. So,
Yeah, I'm not leaving mine. I'll get that fixed up as soon
Yeah.
as I can. And
So you hit some sort of a stump.
I hit a
I
stump,
believe
but
it was
I
a
do
stump.
not think that is what broke. I don't know if that's when my shock broke.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, you hit that.
snapped my front shock off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later in the same ride, I don't know how this happened, whether an idler wheel, because there's a damaged idler wheel in mine, came loose. And I don't know if it knocked the reservoir out of the little holder, because at this point I had 800 miles on the sled. If it was going to come out of the holder before that, it would have happened hundreds of miles
You
before
would
that.
think, but you never know.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's the idler wheel, but I don't know. So I got to replace an idler wheel. I got to replace the high pressure hose, the reservoir that we both happened to stop in the middle of nowhere on the snow.
Look at that, a reservoir.
Yeah.
So I
Turns out
grabbed
it was
it.
mine.
I grabbed it and put it in my trunk.
Yeah, I said, hey, Steve, pick that up. You never know when you're going to need one. And that was that. And turns out it was mine, so thank God we did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it for this season. I got to say thank you to everybody that has tuned in, watched, downloaded the podcast, liked, commented. You know, we sure have enjoyed getting involved with everybody. It's been a great season. And keep an eye out for what we're doing through the summer.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, as you know, snowmobiling is all about performance. Performance Supply is all about making sure you have a great snowmobile season, making sure that you have a snowmobile engine running this fall.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.